just going to wing it.
Wing it!
Wing it, baby! 9 years ago, Superstorm Sandy did billions in damage to our city's economy. Sandy was fueled by a warming atmosphere and an overheated ocean. And those things are fueled by investment in fossil fuels. So we're here today in front of the New York Fed to follow the money. The world's biggest banks, including Citibank, which is where we're going next, pump billions of dollars every year into companies that increase climate chaos and threaten our very survival. And the banks are funding it all for short-term profit. Yeah. The good news is the Fed can limit fossil fuel financing, but they can't do it alone. They won't do it alone. We followed the money to get here. Now let's tell the Fed what they need to follow.
Yes.
Let's tell them to follow the science, follow their conscience, and follow the people. Que sigue la ciencia, sigue tu conciencia, y sigue el pueblo. The science of climate chaos is inescapable, and it's screaming code red. I don't need to tell you, but we need to tell them. Follow the science. Sigue la ciencia. Let me hear it. Follow the science. Sigue la ciencia. The people behind these big doors need to remember that what they do affects all of us, especially low-income folks and communities of color, and especially the young people in coming generations whose futures we are literally stealing. As we say, if it's wrong to wreck the planet, it's wrong to profit from that wreckage. So let's tell them, follow your conscience, sigue tu conciencia. Follow your conscience, sigue tu conciencia. We're not a huge crowd today, although this is good. This is good. Give yourselves a hand. So we're not alone either. There are actions today at each of the Fed locations across the country. And the majority of Americans now know that climate change is an existential threat, thanks to your work. Give yourselves another hand. Yeah. So let's make sure the Fed hears it. Follow the people. Sigue el pueblo. Follow the people. Sigue el pueblo. And speaking of following the people, I want to bring up Scott Stringer. Scott has been a dedicated public servant for almost 30 years, first in the Assembly, then as Manhattan Borough President, and since 2013 as the city's controller. And in January of this year, he announced that city pension funds would move $4 billion away from the investments in fossil fuels. Yeah. Scott said climate change is the fight of our lives, and we must face it head on with everything we've got. Scott Stringer gets it, and he's here to talk to us today. Everybody, Controller Scott Stringer.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me, one more? Oh, okay. You would think I had figured this out after all these years. So I want to first say to all of you that the success that we have had in this city would never have happened without everyone here today. Yeah. This divestment was because of you. Because you showed the way, and I credit you. Give it up for 350.org.
Yeah.
Give it up for Food and Water Watch.
Yeah.
Give it up for New York Committees for Change.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what you did. We are literally, give it up for Rise and Resist.
Yeah.
Thank you. But let me tell you what we did. By the time December 31st comes, we will have moved $4 billion out of the pension fund that was fossil fuel investment. But it's not just what we divest from, it's what we invest in. And between now and 2035, we are going to invest $50 billion in the green economy. $50 billion. And by 2040, we're going to finish this job. Because what's at stake is the future of our planet. And for those of us who understand that longevity is as much about yourself as it is about our children, this fight is about the survival of our kids. Because if we do not act now, if we do not take on Exxon and the banks and make them understand that this is not about making money, this is about children breathing, this fight has never been more important. And I will tell you that when I became controller, Pete Sikora knows this and others, this was something that they told me could not be done. How can you divest? Nobody invests. What your job is to engage. And I was convinced by all of you that engagement is another word for giving up.
Yeah. Yes.
It is.
Yes, it is.
I wish it wasn't true, but it is. If we do not take the full force of our electoral and political power now to make change, we're going to lose this fight. And that's what worries me as a parent. It worries me as a New Yorker. We have got to fight back. And on the anniversary of Sandy, when I went to communities and held hearings, the devastation that is still in existence is because of our climate. We need to have resiliency, and we need to be fossil free. So I want to just say to all of you, thank you. You did this. You braved the way. And we have now set a standard for public pension funds, not just around the country, but around the world. And we have laid out a Glasgow agenda, the likes we've never seen. And as I look back on my tenure, by the way, I'm going to have a little more time on my hands to go to demonstrations if you'll have me. But as I look back on our tenure, I believe we have laid the groundwork to change the direction of this planet. And I just want to come here today and thank each and every one of you. You are the reason why we're going to win this fight. Thank you all. It's great to be here, and keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott Stringer.
One of those fierce advocates, someone I admire not just for fossil fuel divestment, but also in building true, real affordable housing. And, you know, whoever becomes the mayor, we're not going to go back to the way it was. We're going to build housing for the people. Thank you, Jonathan Weston. Thank you.
I'm with NYCC. We are here. We are here. At the Federal Reserve. At the Federal Reserve. Because they regulate. They regulate. The banks. The banks. way. Here, you guys want to scoot down? Do your job and regulate. 468. 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 Do your job and regulate. Do your job and regulate. 468. Do your job and regulate. Who are these scary people? Why they look like a bunch of fingers. Financing the destruction of our planet. What do we want? More profit. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? More profit. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Private justice. When do we want it? Now. When do we want it? Justice. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? When do we want? When do we want it? Now. Where do we want it? Climate justice. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. Now. What do we want? Climate justice. Now. 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 Climate justice. emergency! profit!
That's true. I'll give you one of these. What's going on Staten Island?
borders. Right now, they're considering funding the Carmichael Coal Project, one of the worst projects on the planet. They're destroying indigenous rights in Australia, what's known as Australia today. But those lands got taken from people, and now they want to build a bigger coal mine, the Carmichael Coal Project. The Bank of New York Mellon is considering financing that coal project right now. Let's turn around and give them the finger. Stop Adani! Stop Adani! Stop Adani! Stop Adani! Stop Adani! Stop Adani! Stop Adani!
Why is today's march significant?
Well, because we need to remember Sandy. We need to remember that the funding that the Biden administration is trying to push through to counter climate change, to rebuild our electrical grid, is essential and urgent now.
Can I ask your name?
Judy Schneier.
Can you just spell that for me?
SCHNEIER. I'm from 350 Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Brooklyn. And can I ask what you do in Brooklyn?
My profession?
Yeah.
I'm a clinical social worker.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we talk to you real fast? Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. What is unique about today's action compared to other ones that have gone on in the movement? Yeah, while we're walking.
Right.
And you're going to look at me.
Yeah. Well, we've got to make big changes. It's profitable to keep extracting fossil fuels, and it's not going to happen by itself, and we've run out of time. So there's an urgency to get it done. Trump's no longer in office. We've got sane leadership. We have to push our leaders to regulate and save this planet for future generations.
Great. Can I ask your name?
My name is Mark.
How do you spell that?
M-A-R-C.
And your last name?
Schmied. S-C-H-M-M-I-E-D.
And can I ask what you do here in New York?
I'm a Broadway musician.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
on fire. Okay, this one has vulgarity in it. I didn't like it. This one got a little vulgarity. Little vulgarity from the background.
what's your name, sir?
Rusty Hicks.
Can you spell that for us?
H-I-C-K-S.
Okay. And can I ask what you do in the city?
What I do, I'm actually a Christian pastor in New Jersey.
Perfect. Okay. How do you feel? There's a lot going on in D.C. about the budget and Biden's bill. Do you think enough is being done? Action is being taken, or enough action is being taken to deal with these issues?
This is an absolute emergency. The world is on fire. There's no way they're doing enough. There's no way there's enough money. I mean, the amount of money that they're spending looking into this Build Back Better is tiny compared to what the money that's going to be spent on climate change and climate chaos. I mean, in 10 years, that's going to look like a tiny amount of money. So, it's stupid for us to be quibbling about this. Yeah, it has to be done now.
Thank you, Pastor.
And I just wanted to say that I'm acting the fool because fools in Shakespeare are the ones who expose lies and hypocrisy. And there's too many lies and too much hypocrisy. Thank you.
are funding that chaos. They are financing the oil, gas, coal, and deforestation that is causing the climate crisis. That's why we're here, to say no to that. We have 3 speakers coming up right now, and then we'll be done. So Citibank right here, we are here to send you a message. Our first speaker is a leader in the youth movement with Fridays for the Future, New York City. Emma Beretta, where are you, Emma? Come on, Emma! Jump up, Emma, jump up there.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emma, and I'm a 15-year-old activist with Fridays for Future, New York City. The climate trauma that my generation faces is like no other. As I have watched climate catastrophes like Hurricane Sandy unfold throughout my childhood, I have become more and more afraid for my future. I have seen New York City enveloped in smog and flooded by hurricanes. I have seen the damage and death that the climate crisis has caused. And I have become increasingly annoyed with those who are with power who are not protecting my future. The anger I feel is shared by so many others in my generation. Around the world right now, there are hunger strikers. There are 5 youth in Washington, D.C. who are on their 9th day of hunger strike today. And we are putting our lives on the line for this crisis. These strikers are withering away. Their bodies are eating their muscles because they know the urgency of this fight. Politicians like Biden, Manchin, and Sinema are watching them die. How many more lives do we need to lose before our leaders take action? How many more lives will the climate crisis claim? Corporations cannot sit back and watch strikers starve, climate refugees die of dehydration, people like me drown in hurricanes, and children die because of wildfires and air pollution. Citibank, you need to step up and protect our future. Citi continues to be the biggest U.S. funder of coal. As other investors and financial institutions move away from the dirtiest form of fossil fuels, Citi continues to see it as an opportunity. Citigroup also poured over $48 billion into fossil fuels in 2020 alone. This behavior is ridiculous and deadly. You need to stop funding fossil fuels because you are funding the death of people in my generation. My generation sees your investments and we will not put our money where it is being used to harm us. So I ask you, Citibank, will you protect the future of my generation and the future of your corporation by divesting from fossil fuels? If you do not, the blood of my generation will be on your hands.
Yes, Emma!
So as we speak, my daughter right now is 15. She was, 9 years ago, she was what, 6 years old.
Mi hija tiene 15 años, hace 9 años tenía 6.
So she is suffering PTSD as we speak because there is a storm coming in, and she just texted me saying that she can't stay. She feels like she has to go to the hospital.
Ella sufre por el trauma de Hurricane Sandy. Me acaba de llamar para decirme que tiene miedo.
So I will keep it short because I have to go to her soon.
Por eso voy a ser breve porque tengo que llegar con ella.
So 9 years ago, tonight will be 9 years. I was home, regular day. I wasn't in the red zone.
Hace 9 años estaba en la casa, no estaba yo en la zona roja.
I heard cracking noises, and as soon as I take my daughter out of the bed, my ceiling caved in onto the bed.
Oí un ruido y fui a ver a mi hija en su cuarto cuando cayó el techo.
Ever since she suffered PTSD, so do I. It's been tragic, and I'm here for people to know that these banks that fund fossil fuel need to stop, because it's not only my family, it's a lot of families that still suffer to this day.
Yo también sufro por ese trauma, y son estos bancos los que son responsables. Por eso estoy aquí.
So Citibank, Chase, Wells Fargo, all these investors to fossil fuel need to stop and wake up. If they could walk a mile in my shoes, I guarantee they will not be funding fossil fuel.
Citibank, Wells Fargo, otros bancos, si caminaran en mis zapatos, saberían que esto no está bien.
So once again, I urge Citibank, I know you up there, assholes, pay attention. Open your fucking eyes to see that we're not stopping. I'm not stopping till the last breath is out.
Citibank, sé que estás aquí. Y no voy a dejar de hacer esto hasta que paren.
Thank you.
I know we're all about to go, but I thought we could send a final message to Citibank, and it's a Cree Native proverb that I'm sure many of you have heard. Are you ready? Yes. So this is for you, our friends at Citibank. When the last tree is cut down, the last fish eaten, and the last stream poisoned, you, Citibank, will realize that you cannot eat money. Say it with me. You cannot eat money. 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 One more speaker. That is my mistake.
Thank you. I want to introduce another youth leader from Triage. Shiv Soy helped organize the early climate strikes and is here again for the youth.
Oh, is this? Oh, okay, I think I'm too tall for this. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Climate justice. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut city down. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Glad to be here. My name is Shiv Soen, and like Pete said, I'm the executive director over at Triage. I kind of want to read something real quick. So the climate crisis is one of the most critical challenges facing our global society and economy in the 21st century. The data is irrefutable, and the world's climate scientists agree that urgent action must be taken to address the current and potential impacts of the climate crisis. Do you guys know where I just read that from? City's website. City has that written on their website talking about climate change. And instead, pretending to greenwash what they're doing, they hide behind the language like this. They hide behind their city bikes, which is their attempt to hide from the fact that they invest billions of dollars every single fucking year into our death and destruction. Is that okay? No! Can we let City get away with that on their website anymore? Absolutely not. Whether it's here in the U.S., they're the largest funders of coal here in the U.S. They're also one of the largest funders across the world. Whether it's here in the U.S., whether it's in Russia, they have an active project just this last month. Billions of dollars are pouring into Russia for continuous coal and oil extraction. Is that okay? No! So to Citibank, I would like to say, as hopefully a good number of y'all are here, fuck you to Citibank. So fuck you to Citibank. So I don't want to keep anybody here for too much longer, but thank you all for coming. And one final time, what do we want? When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Climate justice! When do we want it? Now! We don't get it! Shut it down! We don't get it! Shut it down! We don't get it! Shut it down! Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We are concluding for the day today. This went phenomenally well. We sent a message first to the Federal Reserve. We want to dump Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chairperson appointed by Trump. Biden should not renominate him. We need a climate champion and a justice champion, not a scumbag like Powell. We're here at Citibank to say that they better clean up their act. They're the second worst in the world right now after JP Morgan Chase. $237 billion into fossil fuels in the last 5 years. They need to clean up their dirty act, or we'll be back. 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 We'll be back.
There's a gentleman retreat who's carrying everybody on the trains around here.
see on the tube.